Somebody put nah, bro. That's somebody said that's so they just got a third arrest in Young Dolph killing. I don't know the young cat's name. Let me see if I can find out the dude's name. I'm watching a podcast right now on YouTube. This dude is called Just Say No to SKO. I think he's a Memphis cat. And he's reporting exactly what's going on right now with the Young Dolph situation because he's out there in Memphis. So go ahead and support that brother. Just Say No SKO. Just Say No to SKO. That's a podcast, and he usually have informative information when it comes to this type of stuff. So, but apparently a third person has been arrested in the Young Dolph killing. You know, they got the guy straight dropped, and then they got the other dude. What's the other guy's name? Cornelius something. Which is oddly enough, that's my cousin who got murdered. That's his name. His name is Cornelius. I'm finna see what they're talking about. Memphis, they arrested another dude in Memphis, charged with 33 counts of, what did you say, 33 counts of murder, attempted murder? Memphis is, what's going on in Memphis? What's in the water? Damn. Young Dolph. So 3 facing charges in Young Dolph murder. So a third person has been charged. This whole thing is starting to come out, man. This was a hit. This was a paid hit because more and more people, as you see, as they made the first arrest, of the Justin Johnson 23. Then after they got him, well, no, they got the dude Cornelius. After they got him, and after they got Cornelius, then Justin Johnson was murdered. Was wanted, and now they got a third dude that just came into play. Let's see what they say about this third dude. He just got arrested a couple of hours ago. Memphis, Tennessee, U.S. Marshals, Memphis Police, and Shelby County's District Attorney provided new details Wednesday, which is today, on suspects charged in the murder of Memphis rapper Young Dolph. Suspects wanted Young Dolph murder captured. Justin, 23, as known as Straight Drop, was captured Tuesday afternoon, which was yesterday, in Indiana. Another man, Cornelius Smith, was already in custody in Mississippi, but was also indicted in Shelby County on several charges in this case, including first-degree murder. Now, Cornelius and Justin Johnson, they both got charged with theft of between $10,000 and $60,000. So people were saying, well, did they rob Young Dolph when they shot him? They're like, did they touch him? Like look like they were just a run up and shoot. Then they got out. It don't look like they touched him or anything, but they said though on that same day, I guess if you look at both of their charges, Justin Johnson and Cornelius Smith, they both have two charges of grand theft between $10,000 and $60,000, which means that they didn't rob Young Dolph, because that would have been a robbery, that would have been murder and robbery charge, but they didn't take none from him. So that means that the car that they had, that white Mercedes Benz, that was what was stolen. That car was stolen. That wasn't their car. I'm gonna see what this dude talking about here. Hold on a second.
It's gonna be a lot more to come out on this, y'all. And y'all know how we do.
Yeah, it's gonna be more arrests, I think. It's gonna be more arrests coming out. They've already got the other dude. Let me see. I'm gonna let you know who the third dude is. The third dude. Let me see. Cornelius Smith. Justin Johnson was arrested. 23. Cornelius Smith has already been in custody in Mississippi, but indicted in Shelby County on several counts in this case, including first-degree murder. So he was already locked up. Cornelius Smith was already knocked up and September. He was already locked up in December 9th. He was already behind bars. So I'm thinking that when they brought him in, when they linked him to the young Dolph's murder. So I'm thinking it wasn't Justin Johnson that was linked to the murder. It was this dude, Cornelius Smith, who was already in custody. So then I think because he went to jail, he was arrested December 9th. Young Dolph was murdered November 17th. So what happened, I'm thinking this is what happened. This dude, Cornelius Smith, got caught for some other stuff, and they ended up linking him to the young Dolph murder. When they brought him in for questioning in Shelby County, he went ahead and let them know who his accomplices were, which was Justin Smith. Now let's see who this third accomplice is. Now there's another man who just got arrested a couple of hours ago. They're actually getting ready to have a Young Dolph conference coming up soon today. So another man identified as Shondell Burnett. Shondell Barnett, who is originally from Memphis but lives in Dallas, faces charges of accessory after the fact for a role in helping Johnson. Official says Barnett was a passenger in the vehicle driven with Johnson when he was captured. He is also being held in Indiana. Okay, so they're not saying he was involved, but he was aiding and abetting a criminal. So I guess he drove out. I guess Justin Johnson came out to stay with Shondell after the murders. That's when you gotta, you can't when you move out of a bad situation, you gotta keep all the people that you used to deal with in those bad situations, keep them at bay. So he's apparently he's not, well, as far as we know, he's not involved in the Young Dolph murder. He was just arrested along with Justin Johnson yesterday because he was aiding and abetting a criminal, a wanted criminal, which that's a charge. That's you can get at least 5 years for that, 3 to 5 for that, for aiding and abetting a criminal. When you know he's wanted by the police, you're supposed to turn him in, especially if he's wanted for such a high-profile murder as this. This is a big murder. Like I said, this is probably the biggest thing since Nipsey. And he was such an affluent fixture in Memphis, And you see it, I saw a thing about Young Dolph about these murderers being captured on ABC News. So this is nationwide news now. Once it hits ABC News, it's nationwide. But I was listening to this young brother podcast.
I got more people pulling up. Whatever the bloggers put in the in the headlines, we gonna cover. If I hear more about 901 Trigger Trey, hey, I'm gonna force his ass back up here. Come holler at me, fam. Come holler at me. Whoever the bloggers are talking about, I'm gonna bring them here.
Oh, he was in Indiana. They said it was in Indiana. I mean, it was in Dallas. He was in Indiana.
Everybody in the building, guys, Skull Gang or No Gang or Don't Bang. And I'm out this thing, man. Salute. OG Skinny Minnie, I can see you. Salute to everybody in the building, y'all. I'm gone, gang. Salute.
But yeah, check that brother out. He's pretty dope. Just Say No to SKO. He's a Memphis blogger, and he got some inside detail about what's going on. I'll listen to him because he sounds like he know what he's talking about. A lot of these bloggers are dudes just trying to get clout, trying to get noticed, like myself. No, I'm not saying. No, I'm actually interested in this whole thing because when murders like this happen, it bothers me because it's a person who was helping people. Somebody that's helping people and trying to get people to do right and trying to do right and trying to change the condition of poor black people. And then they get murdered. Like, that bothers me because it's like, damn, he made it out and was trying to help people, and y'all kill that person. So and so that's why I think, like I said, I'm an old head, but I did like the way I started to get into Young Dolph, not after he died, but I would say maybe a couple of months before he died, I started getting into Young Dolph and his music. And I think not really, I started getting into his music not because of the music, but because of his interviews, the way he carried himself in the interviews, the way he talked about things, the way he talked about his grandmother. And you could tell the way he kind of carried himself and the way he talked, even though he was a young man, he had a very old and wise soul. You know, the way you could tell he was raised by old people. You could tell he had an older influence on him. He didn't have young parents around. I think in one of his interviews, he said that both his parents were on drugs. You see what I'm saying? And so his grandmother raised me. So he had a very old, wise demeanor about him. And it kind of reminds me of myself. People would say about me that I have old women ways about me. I used to get offended because I used to think to myself, damn, I'm feminine? Like, what you trying to say? But I don't get offended no more because I was basically around my mom more than I was around my dad. Even though my dad was in my life, when he and my mom got divorced when I was 10, he was right down the street. He had a shop right down the street, so I could go see him. I could ride my bike to my dad's house anytime. But I was more around my mom than I was my dad. You know how it is when you get divorced. So I took on a lot of my mom's old women traits. So now that I'm older, people see those traits, but this dude. No, I like women. I love women. But I just have a lot of old women, wise old women traits. You know what I'm saying? And that's what's why how Dolph I kind of saw that in Dolph, being that he was, it's basically you're being raised by an elderly person, which is, I'm older now and I don't have any kids, so 9 times out of 10 I'm gonna be an elderly parent if I have a child. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of times when you're raised by an elderly person, you carry on the elderly traits. You know what I'm saying? My mom had me when she was 46 years old. By the time I was in elementary school, she was like in her early 50s. So she supposed to have me. She's at grandmama's age. She was a grandma. Matter of fact, she was. Because my nephew was born. My mother was a grandmother with a child in elementary school in the first, second grade. You see what I'm saying? So that's how I was raised. And I kind of saw that same kind of kindred spirit in young Dolph. But this third guy who got arrested, apparently he's charged with aiding and abetting a criminal, which is that can carry 3 to 5 years. Shondell Burnett is his name. So he's a third guy, but he was arrested along with Sean Johnson. I mean, not Sean, what's his name? I keep saying Sean Johnson. Justin Johnson. Straight Drop. Might as well say his name is straight. His rap name is Straight Drop. But I was watching this dude's podcast from Memphis, and it's going to be some more, man. This was a hit. This was a paid hit. So more people are going to come out. More people are going to come out on this. Because you have to look at the age difference. 32-year-olds, we really don't hang with 23-year-olds like that. Unless these guys were like related, like that was his little nephew or something, his little cousin, you know what I'm saying? But usually 32-year-olds really don't hang with 23-year-olds if they're not related, unless they were put together. You see what I'm saying? So I'm thinking maybe they were paid, whoever did, they were paid and they were put together. You know what I'm saying? Like, they were paid and they were put together to do this particular hit. Because 23 and 32 is totally different age differences, especially if they're not related. Now, it may come out as this case develops that these two were related, but people were saying Black Youngster might have paid for the hit. I don't believe that either. Why would you? I mean, well, then again, you never estimate the way that a street nigga thinks. They'll, but the reason why I think that he didn't have anything to do with it is because you are a rapper, a successful rapper. You're a well-known rapper. It's not like Black Youngster is a struggling rapper like the dude who killed Nipsey, struggling trying to get his mixtape seen or heard by the right person. Black Youngster was already signed and a well-known rapper. He'd been on BZ. He was on the Breakfast Club. So he's a made rapper. So the reason why I say I don't think he had anything to do with it, because why would you jeopardize? You know, all these rappers, this dude's in their 50s still trying to be rappers. And here you are, the 1% that actually made it to become a successful rapper and get paid from being a successful rapper. Why would you want to jeopardize that over a dumb beef because you don't like another dude, he don't like you, by killing him or having him killed? You know, also I don't think if he's that stupid, then, you know, he deserves to go to jail. You made it to the top, and now you're gonna pay for a hit that possibly implement you in a big crime and give you life in prison, and you made it out the hood and became, you see what I'm saying? Legit, you know what I'm saying? Now, granted, a lot of these dudes from the streets that start off rapping, granted, a lot of them start they rap career off with dope money. A lot of them have dope money that they use to fund their studio time. I'm pretty, like Young Dolph talked about it, trapping. You know, a lot of these cats, you know, sell dope to pay for marketing. Come and think about it. In order to be independent in the rap game, you gotta have money, dude. To be successful independently without any labels influence, you gotta have money. You gotta pay for radio promotion, you gotta pay for marketing, you gotta pay for your music videos out of pocket. What else? If you want good quality music, you want a good quality studio, you gotta pay for an engineer, you gotta pay for the studio time. That's coming all out your pocket if you straight independent. So, and then you make it, so that takes money. And the last I checked, Memphis is one of the poorest cities in America. One of the poorest places in America. So what else? And then Young Dolph parents being on drugs, his mom not having much. How was he going to fund this independent rap career that hadn't came to fruition yet? He had to sell dope. Come on, man. You know what I'm saying? Top Dog, he talked about Top Dog, the owner of Top Dog Entertainment. He talked about how people would ask him for handouts, and he was like, man, I forgot how the quote went, but Top Dog said, I did not take all these penitentiary chances to build this record label just to give it to a dude who never hustled. He telling me right there, he took penitentiary chances to fund this record label. Easy did it. Come on, man. All of them have done it. You know, we can't get, especially these young dudes from the streets, you can't go up to a loan and say, hey, I'm trying to start a record label. Let me get $200,000. They ain't even do that. They barely want to give us money for, hey, I got a good idea. For a convenience store on the corner. I need $20,000. They ain't even give you money for that, let alone money for a rap career. But like I said, that's another show. My phone is ringing. I take care of that later. Who is calling me? What 1-800 number called me. I don't know who that was. That might have been a bill collector. No, I rarely get a bill collector. I pay my bills, so I don't know who that was. That's why you get these random numbers from, you know, these different weird and area code, these weird 800 numbers. I don't know who that was, but I'm gonna check my voicemail. I haven't checked my voicemail in a couple of weeks, but so a third guy has been arrested. Third guy's in custody, and he's, you know, I'm trying to think. If somebody hit me, I'm trying to think. If somebody hit me up, one of my best friends hit me up and told me, hey man, can I come out the way you out in LA for a little bit? I just got myself wrapped up in some bullshit. I need to come out there and hang out for a little bit. That's probably how her homeboy came at him. Not knowing that this dude just murdered one of the biggest rappers in Memphis. He probably, oh yeah, dude. So he probably thinking there's some dudes after him. He probably said, oh man, it's some niggas after me, man. They trying to, you know what I'm saying? Can I come out there where you at in Indiana and lay up for a little bit till these dudes, till stuff calm down? He probably, oh yeah, that's your homeboy. Yeah, you can come out. You know, don't trip. You want your homeboy to be safe. So I'm thinking maybe homeboy maybe didn't even tell them that he was even involved with the Young Dolph murder. He probably just told him, hey man, I got some beef out here in Memphis. Can I come out there and lay low for a little bit in Indiana, in Indiana with you? It's your homeboy, because this dude, I keep pronouncing his name, Shondell Burnett. This dude, he's from Memphis, but he moved out of Memphis to move to Indiana. I guess to Dallas or Indiana. And he wasn't living there anymore. So I'm thinking that's how homeboy probably came at him. This Justin Johnson dude. He probably came at him like, hey man, I got myself in some stuff with these dudes out here in Memphis. Let me come out there and lay low for, let me come out there and lay low with you for a little bit. You know what I'm saying? For at least a month or so, a couple months. And then I'll come back. I'll come back. Now, you thinking that your homeboy, if y'all in the streets, you probably thinking your homeboy probably got into a beef with some dude. Dude probably lied. I'm thinking that this dude, Justin Johnson, lied to this Shondell dude. I don't think this dude knew. I mean, he might have did. But if he didn't, they should be leaning on this dude, because dudes lie, man. He could have told this dude he was in some beef with some dudes and he need to come out to lay low. Cool, this is your homeboy. Come out, lay low. Come out, man. Come out. You can stay as long as you want. You know what I'm saying? He probably then, once they got arrested yesterday, he probably didn't realize how big the charges were. And he probably didn't realize how big the charges were. And then he realized, like, oh shit, like, dude, you running for murder. And by that time, they was already in custody. You see what I'm saying? Now, if he did know that homeboy was involved, and you still let this dude come stay with you, you done. Ain't no one here, I'm gonna let somebody come stay with me and you just murdered somebody. And you murdered one of the biggest rappers in Memphis. The FBI's after you. Once the FBI is on you, dude, it's a wrap. Once the FBI got you, it's a wrap. Hold on a second, y'all. I gotta put my phone on charge. I need my phone. Damn, where's my damn charger at? This phone could go dead. I don't know where my charger is. Oh. On God. Doing my little best young Dolph impression. You know what I'm saying? I remember when I went home, I went home. Oddly enough, my niece turned me on to Young Dolph. She turned me on to Young Dolph when I was when I went home to visit, maybe like 2 or 3 years ago. She put me on to Young Dolph. Well, I say maybe 3 years, might have been longer than that. I think maybe 6 years ago, she put me on to Young Dolph. And I remember watching the interview, and I started making fun of how he talked. Let me go get some cookies. Anyway, and me and my niece was doing that the whole time I was down at this time, Christmas time. We were talking about the Young Dolph murder. And she kept saying, she said, yeah, I started seeing how he talked on that. I guess he did an Instagram video where he went to Makita's Cookies before he got killed, 2 weeks before he got killed. And she was talking about how he talked. I said, Shannon, how does Young Dolph talk? She was like, he talk like this here. Go up here and give me some butter cookies. So the whole time we was there, she kept saying, Uncle Chuck, let's go get some butter cookies. Shout out to my niece Shannon, man. I'm so proud of her, man. She's doing big things in Orlando. My niece is a coroner. She's one of the youngest coroners in Orlando. And she loves her job. I don't see how she does it, but she says it doesn't bother her being around dead people. She said, my niece said some stuff that my mom would say. She said, it's not the dead ones, it's the live ones you got to worry about. The dead ones ain't gonna do nothing to you. The ones that's walking around breathing and thinking, them the ones you got to worry about. She said, the safest place you can be is in a room for the dead people. She's like, the non-safe place you can be is a room for people that's living. Them the ones gonna get you, But shout out to my niece. Yeah, so anyway, I want to chime in on this. So a third person was arrested. Shondell Barnett was arrested for. They don't. I guess he was arrested. He's arrested now for, I guess, aiding and abetting a wanted man, which was Justin Johnson, 23 years old. I wonder how old this Shondell Barnett dude is. They didn't say how old he is. How old he is? They didn't say how old he was. How old is he? Let's see how old is he. They don't say how old this Shondell dude is. I'm going to find it right now. This stuff is all over the news. It's crazy because after young Dolph got murdered, there was a lot of hoopla, maybe for about a good week. But it seems like it died down to the point where it felt like nobody really gave a damn. Nipsey, that stuff it stayed in the news. I'm thinking it was because it was in LA. LA, Chicago, New York are more of the bigger news outlets. I'm sorry. LA and New York, I would say, are two of the biggest news outlets in America. So I'm thinking that's probably why Nipsey stuff got covered more than Young Dolph, because Memphis is not really, you know what I'm saying? Because it felt like after Young Dolph got murdered, all this stuff kind of died down after about a week and a half or so. It kind of died down. Then they came out with the funeral thing in Memphis. That kind of brought it back up a little bit. But now that they caught these guys that are apparently the murderers of Young Dolph, or allegedly, I guess they've already been charged, so I guess they have evidence. That's one thing I've learned during this whole thing. Once the FBI has you on their list and you're wanted by the FBI, you've done that. They know they have a lot of evidence. They've stacked up so much evidence before they even come and get you to say, no matter what you say, we've got hard evidence that you've done this. That's when the FBI gets involved. And so when the FBI is involved, 9 times out of 10, you were involved. Allegedly, supposedly. That's what I heard. But it don't say how old this dude, Shondell. Justin Johnson, 23. Cornell Smith, 32. Third man, Shondell, is facing charges of accessory after the fact to first-degree murders, accused of assisting Justin Johnson as he invaded law enforcement. So they got him on aiding and abetting a criminal. Like, even the reward really wasn't no money. The reward to even catch Justin Johnson, they only offered $15,000. I think I think it might have been a couple of days after when Nipsey got killed, they were offering like almost like $150,000 to $100,000 for to capture Nipsey's killer before homeboy turned himself in. So they said both Cornelius Smith and Justin Johnson are also being charged with property, theft of property over $10,000, which that must have been, the car was stolen in. So they stole that car. That Benz was a stolen car in. It might have been a jug car, a crackhead car. A lot of times drug dealers, a lot of times drug heads, they be on drugs so much that a way to get money for dope, a lot of dope heads. I don't know if they do it as much as they used to do back in the day, but a lot of, this was back when crack was big, because my brother was on crack. They used to, crackheads back in the day, drug addicts from back in the day, they would rent out their car for dope. They would let street cats, anybody use their car. Hey, let me borrow your car for about an hour. I'll give you $50, $60. I'll give you $20 and a rock if I can borrow your car the whole day. And so the crackhead, they strung out. This is some way I can get some crack, get some money. You can borrow my car. And they'll let this person borrow their car, and they'll go off and go do robberies, drive-bys, sell dope out the car, do all kind of stuff, transport dope. So when they get pulled over, they get pinched, the car leads back to the crackhead. And the crackhead is all strung out on crack, they don't care. And then the person who's doing the crime in the car, this is a piece of shit crackhead. I don't give a fuck they get. You see what I'm saying? Everything, I'm gonna go do crime in this crackhead's car, and then everything's gonna point to them if we get caught. Or if I'm fleeing a crime scene in a crackhead's car and they get my license plate, they're gonna come after the crackhead. And the crackhead don't know my real name. He don't know my government name. He just know me from Boop Boop Lolo from the 35th Street. He don't know that's all he know me as. I know he don't know my real name. You see what I'm saying? So, I mean, they used to do that a lot. I know a lot of cats used to do that. They used to sell dope. They used to get a little crackhead a rock, $50, and they'll take their car and go sell dope out their car. Or they'll go rob somebody in their car. They know some dudes got a lot of money. They know they got a lot of dope in their trap or whatever. They know how they move. So I'm gonna go rob this dude real quick. I'm gonna take the crackhead car, go rob the dude real quick. Bring the car back. They know this car from this crackhead. They don't know me. You know what I'm saying? Unless they hem the crackhead up. And like I said before, once they hem the crackhead up, he don't know my real name. He know me from Boop Boop. Like I said, from 35th Street. He don't know my real name. You see what I'm saying? But anyway. Yeah, this news is all over the place. But like I said, man, more of this stuff comes out. I'm letting y'all know right now that I think more people are going to be involved with this whole thing. This was a paid hit. This wasn't no random occurrence. This was, like I said, Hayden might have been involved. Hayden was involved. It was some hate involved. Now, the interesting thing about this straight Justin Johnson, which is AKA his stage name, he's a hip hop guy too. He's a rapper too. Straight Drop. Straight Drop also was an aspiring rapper. He was also on the come up too. He wasn't as known as Young Dolph, but he was on the come up too. He's only 23 years old. He was on the come up too. And they said this video with him wearing the Paper Route Empire emblem, logo chain. So it may not be a hit, but then again, I'm thinking it is, because why would this 13-year-old man be involved? You see what I'm saying? Or it could have been a group of people. It could have been a dude with money. Hey man, we all don't like this man. I'm telling you, anybody who can cap this man, I got 100,000 for him. You see what I'm saying? Or 50,000 for him. You know what I mean? But being that this dude Justin Johnson, being that he's a rapper himself, and he was in his camp, and people always say there's always somebody that's been around you to end up killing you. That's always what it is. Always somebody that's in your camp, in your clique, seeing you doing successful stuff. They be the ones that set you up all the time. I remember one time when I was young, it was a friend close to my brother tried to rob my mom. You see what I'm saying? It's always somebody close to you to get you. It's never really, very, very, very rarely is it a stranger that just randomly just kill you when you make it to that type of level of success. It's always somebody within your circle that end up setting you up, having you killed, stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Robberies gone wrong. You know what I mean? So I think this might have been a paid hit. If it wasn't a paid hit, Justin Johnson has maybe some business dealings with Young Dolph that didn't go well, didn't go right, didn't go into his favor. Maybe him and Young Dolph fell out over money. He thought maybe Dolph supposedly had been giving him more. You know what I'm saying? And dudes be thinking that you supposed to, if Dolph got a $2 million deal on the table, oh, I'm your homeboy, I should at least get $500,000 of that. You ain't set up the deal. You ain't connect nothing. You ain't do nothing. You think because you my homeboy, you supposed to get $500,000 or just off the strength you ain't did nothing? No. I'm going to give you $20,000. and then you give them, they know you got $2 million. That's why you can't let everybody know all your business. You can't let everybody know all your business. Because once you let everybody know all your business, then they feel like they deserve half of your business. And they ain't have nothing to do with it. Because they're, oh, I'm your best friend. We know each other since we was in 2nd grade. But you didn't sit down, you didn't put this plug together. You ain't sit down with the deal and the cash. You didn't sit down with the lawyers. And that's another thing. A lot of people who aren't business savvy, they don't know how business is done. Street cats just think that you just walk in the room or a business meeting. Oh, they're gonna give me $500,000, and okay, you gonna find. No, lawyers have to be involved. Management, negotiation, back and forth. A lot of times they don't even sit down to the meeting. Usually it's a lot of back and forth phone calls before they even sit down to the meeting. Because by the time they get to that part where they sit down in a conference room in a meeting, numbers have already been hashed out. They're just meeting and signing the paperwork. You see what I'm saying? It's processes leading up to a deal being finalized. And people from the street, people who ain't around big money and big business, they don't know that. They think, oh, Dolph got a $2 million deal. Oh, I'm his homeboy. He supposed to give me at least $500,000 of that. This man got a mama, he got an auntie, he got cousins, he got sisters that might have stuff that need to be taken care of. And it's, you know, that's it. You just, damn, maybe that's, man, I want to be rich. Everybody want to be rich, right? But we don't think about the consequences that come along after you get that big money. We think, oh man, no more bills. I don't worry about bills no more. I ain't got to worry about not having, if I go to the store, I can just buy anything I want. I ain't got to worry about the price, drive anything I want. We see all that, which is all the benefits of having a lot of money, being rich. But we don't see the headaches that come, animosity, jealousy, family members trying to set you up, girls trying to set you up, people trying to play you love, people lying to you, trying to get money. That comes, that probably comes at you every day. So the good, I'm pretty sure the bad outweighs the good when it comes to being rich. I still want to be rich though. I ain't throwing the baby out with the bathwater. I still want to get paper. So, you know what I'm saying? But I think if I became rich like a young dog rich, I would probably have so much anxiety. Because my anxiety already bad, and I ain't nowhere near the rich kind of money what Young Dolph had. But my anxiety bad, and I'm a regular schmegler. I can only imagine being a multi-millionaire, you know, and being famous. Everybody knows you're a multi-millionaire. That's one thing about Tupac that I respected, and I've said this before in other podcasts, other videos I've done. Tupac always say in some of his songs, "I want the money, F the fame." You know what I'm saying? He always talk about, you know, and him, I don't want to die old and broke, you know, which is another thing that stuck with me. Being old and broke is the worst thing you can be. Being just when you're getting old, you're you're over 65 and you broke. That's what scares me. I do not want that to happen. You know, anything, I want to retire by the time I'm 50 or 55. 10 years before I'm supposed to, 10 years before I hit senior citizen age, which I think is 65 or 62. I think it's 65, but anyway. But he would always talk about being rich and not having the fame, because that just leads to everybody in the world knows you got money. That has to be horrifying. Everybody in the world knows you. You can't lie and say, "Oh man, I ain't got it." I just read your in Forbes. You know what I'm saying? They don't even realize that's not even correct. I just read your biography on such and such. You got such and such. It's publicized. Your financial status is publicized when you're famous. You know what I'm saying? When you're rich and unknown, that has to be so cool. I can look bummy, driving a 1997 Toyota Prius with one spare wheel on the back, busted out window with tapered with electrical tape, and be driving it down the street. You won't know that I have $60 million in the bank, because you don't know me. I'm not famous. But if I'm Drake and I'm trying to I'm broke, we just saw you saw you perform at the Super Bowl. We just, you know what I'm saying? Like, you can't lie when you famous and rich. When you rich and unknown, you can lie. Oh man, I ain't got it. Look what I'm driving. Oh yeah, he ain't got it. They're on about their business. So I think when you're rich and unknown, you can move a little bit more quieter than if you're famous and rich versus Young Dolph. Like, look what happened. Him being famous and rich led to hate and led to his death. You know, it's not saying not saying it's his fault, but I'm just talking about how when you're rich, especially if you're rich and you come from a poor place where everybody was suffering and poor, and you're rich and you're famous, that's deadly. It happened to Nipsey. When you're rich, when you rich and famous, you come from a place where everybody was completely broke. Everybody on Section 8, everybody on EBT cards, you know what I'm saying? Everybody getting general relief first of the month, using that to buy school clothes, you know what I'm saying? And then you become rich, and then you become rich and you become famous. It's one thing if you live in the hood, and it's funny, I was watching the movie with Bow Wow. It's crazy. That's probably just exactly how it would be too. Watch the movie. It's actually, I mean, it's a silly little kids. I would say it's a silly little wannabe Friday movie, but it's called Lottery Ticket, and it showed how when Bow Wow's character, who lived in the projects in D.C., he ended up hitting the lottery for $100 million, and how everybody came at him. Girls that was dissing them, dudes hating on him, the bully who never really paid attention to him. Now he trying to kill him. He was a hater. You know what I'm saying? Girls trying to set him up. Friends coming at him. If he said no, they looking at him sideways. That's exactly how it is. If you rich and you come from a place where everybody's broke, and now you got it, and everybody like, hey man, you supposed to give it. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, I'm going off subject, man. I'm about to end this video. I got stuff I got to do, but man, this case is going to be interesting. This case, there are going to be more arrests. I got a feeling there's going to be more arrests in this Young Dolph thing. It's going to be more people going to be arrested behind this. I believe, my honest opinion, I believe that this was a hit. These were some cats that were looking to kill him. Might have been following him. And they may have been doing intel on Young Dolph, meaning they were following him, seeing how he moved. They know where he live at. All you do is follow that car he got. That a lot of his cars had that camouflage on it, so all you gotta do is just follow that car, and you'll know where he live at. You know what I'm saying? Get a car that he don't know, and follow him. Oh, okay, Young Dolph stay over in this gated community. An hour outside of Memphis. Okay, mental note, we know where he live at now. So all we gotta do is post up near to where that gated community is, wait till he comes out, follow him. Wherever he stopped, we got him. You know what I'm saying? So I think this was a calculated, planned out thing. This wasn't, oh no, there go Dolph, let's go kill him. You know what I'm saying? Because I was watching a news report. One of the Memphis news people were saying that it was a hot day that day, November 17th, that afternoon, 1 o'clock, when Young Dolph got killed. It was hot that day. It was warm. Matter of fact, I think Young Dolph had on like a short sleeve shirt and maybe some shorts. I can't remember if they said that, but he had on like a short sleeve polo shirt. So it wasn't cold outside. But these dudes, they hit him. They had on hoodies, jogging pants. Looked like they had on gloves. They were from head to toe. Mask, hat, hoodie, gloves. You know what I'm saying? Jogging pants. And even if you look at the clothes, they look like some clothes that you would use. Like look, they got those clothes from straight Goodwill. The shoes are all raggedy. Those look like some clothes that they're going to take once they're done killing Young Dolph. They're going to take somewhere. They're going to put it in a barrel. They're going to burn everything. They're going to burn the hats, masks, gloves. Everything is getting burned. They're going to strip naked and burn everything. Maybe even the guns. They probably burned up you probably can't burn no Draco. I'm pretty sure that gun is dismantled somewhere. That gun is somewhere dismantled somewhere in the river somewhere. You know what I'm saying? So that was something that was planned out. The car was stolen. The Benz, from what we know of right now, that was what was the $10,000 and $60,000 theft. So the car was stolen. This was planned. This was a hit. This was a calculated, planned hit. Paid for. This was all paid for. This was all plotted. It wasn't like the Nipsey thing where that was some straight hater shit, where you had some bum ass dude pull up, he get dissed by his homeboy, and he come back and shoot him because he got fronted in front of his girlfriend. Because you gotta think, people gotta realize, when Nipsey, I'm going back to Nipsey now. When Nipsey got, because I live right down the street from the Marathon store, it's all sealed up now. The shopping center is all caged up now. Nipsey checked this man in front of his lady. People forget that. Let me tell you something. If a man checks you, is one thing, but you check me in front of a group of people and you check me in front of my lady, Nipsey checked homeboy in front of his lady. Not meant to mention there was other dudes that were standing around. Other fans was there. He embarrassed that man. You know what I'm saying? Not saying that Nipsey deserved to get murdered because he got embarrassed, but I'm just saying the mentality of a hater. I'm already hating on you. You know, because him to do that, that's already some built up anger. When he killed him, he kicked him in the head. He kicked Nipsey in the head. That was already some built up hate. I hate this dude's. He got a better looking broad than me. He becomes successful in something I'm trying to be successful at. You know what I'm saying? I still haven't made it yet. The dude didn't even have a car to get away in. His girlfriend had to drive the getaway car. So it's like, homeboy was down bad. So now you're going to diss me in front of my girl and say I need to show my paperwork? Homeboy lost it. But rest in peace to Nipsey. Rest in peace to young Dolph. And yeah, this is going to be an interesting next couple months, weeks to months, as we follow this young Dolph case. It's going to get real deep. And being that these two dudes and this dude 23, them FBI dudes are pros. They finna put the pressure on old boy. They finna put the pressure on all these dudes. And whoever is involved behind the scenes that paid these dudes or put these dudes up to it, they're going to be exposed. Because they come at the dude Justin Johnson probably hard in that damn interrogation room. They coming at him hard in that interrogation room. You know what I'm saying? They're probably on him. For real, for real. But anyway, let me get off this thing, man. Go ahead and hit that like button. Hit the like button, guys. The like button so I can get more people to watch this. Watch this video. Hit the like button. And let me go ahead and end this. How you end this thing? Let me see. Boo, boo, boo. Let me end this thing, man. I gotta do this with my phone. I lost some weight. Look at me. Okay. I'm finna do, oh man, I gotta gain some though. Let me see. You know, I think I lost weight, man. I gained a little bit. I'm trying to get my chest down. Definitely need a haircut. I look like George Jefferson. I look like a plumber. Oh man, I need a haircut. Oh man. I got convertible hair. This is bad. I'm walking around looking like this. Let me go get a haircut, y'all. I'm gonna holler at y'all later. Go ahead and hit that thumbs up button, subscribe to my channel, Charles in World. Appreciate you guys for watching.